What's up guys, Shade Tree Surgeon here, and yes, we're still talking about Harley Davidson's new model lineup. A few days ago, I released a video talking about Harley Davidson's new standard, naked, street fighter, sport bike, whatever you really want to call it, but honestly, the overwhelming amount of messages that I got were all asking me to talk about the Harley Davidson Pan America, their new adventure bike. Dad jeans. Yes, Harley Davidson has joined the Dad Gene Club. ADV bikes are the official motorcycle of pleated chinos, white New Balances, and pastel-colored Columbia fishing shirts. They are the two-wheeled equivalent of wearing your cell phone on a belt holster. Dad jeans. So practical, so comfortable, so dad. Honestly though, man, out of all the motorcycles that Harley Davidson announced, this was really the least surprising one to me. Adventure bike dads and Harley bagger dads, they're basically the same person. Let me paint you a picture of a potential motorcycle customer. Just imagine this man for me, okay? An upper middle class white man in his late 40s, living in a nice and tidy subdivision in, I don't know, one of the square states, take your pick. He's a good man, an honest man. He pays his taxes, he loves his country, and he cooks the best damn deep fried turkey you've ever had. He's a man who married his high school sweetheart Rebecca and did a 5-year stint in the Air Force right out of high school. Now he's got his wife Rebecca, 2 kids and a dog, and a nice cushy job with a corner office working for a government defense contractor, and man, life is good. But he's pushing 50 years old now, and his 15-year-old daughter Haley started dyeing her hair black and listening to The Cure, and his son Tanner would rather play Pokemon Go than come on a fishing trip with him. And boy, the wife Rebecca, she sure packed on the pounds this year. The days just seem to blend together for him in this beige-colored, homogeneous miasma of lackluster barbecues, lukewarm Michelob Ultras, and reruns of Law & Order SVU. As his weekly ritual of missionary position sex with the wife slowly turns into a bi-monthly perfunctory robotic duty, he more often finds himself seeking comfort in an incognito tab in a Bing search than in between the pasty white thighs of his wife Rebecca. Is this it? He asks himself. Is this the dream I've worked so hard for? There must be something else, he cries as his mind turns to adventure. Ah, yes, the open road with a powerful machine between his legs. That's what he needs. He needs to remind himself of what it means to be a man, to cast off these ponderous shackles of suburbia and live once more. He needs danger and freedom and speed and horsepower. It's time to buy a motorcycle. Now that you have a clear picture of our eponymous hero, the potential motorcycle customer, you tell me, what kind of motorcycle does he buy? This is a man who craves adventure, and he wants to escape this hellscape of PTA meetings and mother-in-laws and tuna casserole for dinner again. God damn it, Rebecca! So you tell me, what is his machine of choice? When it comes to affluent dads in the suburbs, I think that the difference between a fully decked out Harley Road Glide Ultra and a BMW GS Adventure with every part in the Motorrad catalog on it, a mouse could starve on the difference between those two bikes. Yes, they are wildly different motorcycles, but they share the same customer. Maybe the dad in our story always heard his dad talking about the Harley he had when he got back from the Pacific Theater, and he'll end up on an Ultra Glide on his way to Sturgis. And maybe our dad grew up bombing around the woods on a beat up old Honda Mini Trail, and he'd rather be off on a BMW GS camping in the Appalachians. Either way, we're honestly talking about the same guy here. So when you realize that big expensive bagger customers and big expensive ADV customers are basically the same person, you gotta ask yourself, why didn't Harley do this years ago? Well, the short answer to that is they did. It was called the Buell Ulysses. A great motorcycle with a fiercely devoted fan base, but we all know how Buell's story ends. Enter the Harley Davidson Pan America. Although I really think that Harley missed the boat by not calling it the Dirt Glide. To me, that front fairing looks exactly like a Road Glide fairing, just miniaturized. The other reason why an ADV bike isn't a surprise to me is because the only thing that Harley Davidson likes selling more than motorcycles is selling accessories.
Merchandising.
And although you certainly can spend a small fortune outfitting any given cruiser that Harley makes with official HD parts, they ain't got nothing on the staggering amount of bullshit that you can bolt onto an ADV bike. You think chromed Harley parts are expensive? I can't wait to see the outrageous amount of money that they're going to be charging for official Harley Davidson skid plates and hard cases. Mark my words, the accessory catalog for the Harley Davidson Pan America is going to be the size of a dictionary. Good move on Harley's part, in my opinion anyway. So let's take a look at the bike itself. Like I said before, to me it looks sort of like a long-legged, gangly Road Glide. Especially since they're showcasing it in that gunship gray, which is one of my absolute favorite colors on the new CVO Road Glide. Handguards, skid guards, tubular crash bars, it certainly looks the part of an ADV bike with all that crap on it, but just because you can put a kitten in the oven doesn't make it a biscuit. I also see the tubeless spoked rims, and you see those a lot on BMW GS's, which also makes me think that this is probably going to be a pretty high dollar motorcycle. When it comes to the looks of this motorcycle, the verdict is definitely out, man. People are very divided on that one, but that's true of almost every adventure bike. Depending on who you ask, most ADV bikes look like the wrong end of a dog, and honestly, I think sometimes that's kind of the appeal. I actually really like the fairing, but to me, the rest of the bike just looks very blocky and awkward and industrial looking. In my opinion, everything past the fairing and the tank looks like it could be part of some heavy machinery in a factory somewhere. Some people absolutely love that look, but my daily driver is a Ducati Multistrada, so when it comes to the looks of an adventure bike, I prefer them on the sportier side. But that's just me. Harley is telling us that at least this model is going to be powered by the new double overhead camshaft, water-cooled 1250cc V-twin, but we still don't have any specs at all on that engine. I'll say this about the Pan America, it better do something really well because the adventure bike category is cutthroat. Bikes like the KLR and the V-Strom, the Pan America is going to be wildly more expensive than those motorcycles. I also think that it'll probably be more expensive even than the middle ground of ADV bikes, bikes like the Honda Africa Twin and the Triumph Tiger 800. So if you're going to be playing on the same field as the BMW GSA 1200 and the KTM 1290 Adventure R, you had better bring your A game. You have got a market full of adventure bikes that are all making 160 plus horsepower. They handle like sport bikes in the twisties. You can ride them all day long comfortably, and they're still capable in the dirt. There's no bones about it. The adventure bike category is the home of the most impressive and the most technologically advanced motorcycles that you can buy. Are we really expecting that Harley Davidson's new 1200cc V-twin is going to be making 140, 150, or even 160 horsepower? Well, it fucking better, because when it comes time for those shootouts, if it's not turning big numbers on the dyno, it's gonna be a joke compared to these other bikes. And if it's not making big horsepower numbers, that bike better be amazing off-road and the featherweight of its category. And if it's not gonna do any of those things that I just mentioned, it at least better be affordable. Like I said, it's gotta stand out somewhere, because this is a really easy category to get overlooked in. Only time will tell though. I'd love to know what you think about it. Do you think the Harley Pan America is really gonna be able to go toe-to-toe with established motorcycles in this category like the BMW GSA and the KTM Adventure R? Do you think we're looking at a motorcycle that has any kind of real off-road capability, or is it just another pretender like so many in this category are? Personally, I am cautiously optimistic. I really want this to be an amazing motorcycle. All I can do is hope that it lives up to mine and everybody else's expectations. If you've stuck around this long in the video, first first off, thanks for watching, guys. And secondly, if you like content like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I wanted to offer a little postscript to this video and tell you guys why I'm way more excited about the fact that Harley Davidson is doing off-road R&D than I am about this motorcycle itself. In my This Is Why Indian Sucks video, I lamented the fact that Polaris, who has gobs of off-road experience, hadn't already offered us an ADV bike through Indian. I'm not surprised that Harley Davidson made one. I am surprised that they beat Indian to the punch. But just like I hoped for Indian, I hope that Harley Davidson doesn't just stop at an ADV bike. I'd love to see some sort of small displacement scrambler from them, like I'm sure a lot of other people would as well. But what I really want to see, and what I think is just so crucially important for the future of motorcycles period, is a focus on pure dirt riding. I know that I'm biased. People who watch my channel will know that I ride my KTM 300 off-road regularly, and I also participate in local hair scramble races. Now, do I really expect Harley Davidson to come out and produce a competitive 450 class dirt bike? No, not really. Would I like that? Absolutely. It's just very unlikely. What I would like to see from Harley Davidson is a push towards making small play and race dirt bikes for children. I want to see the Harley Davidson version of the KLX 110 or the YZ85 or the Honda 150R. Everyone and their mother says millennials are killing motorcycles, and you know what? Some of these motorcycle manufacturers, they should be legitimately worried. In a world where kids are growing up indoors, playing video games all day, on the internet with every distraction they could ever want right at their fingertips, how are you going to convince that kid to buy a motorcycle when he's an adult one day? Well, why wait till one day when they're old enough? Lifelong passions for motorcycles are started in children, and I'm sorry, Harley, but a 6-year-old ain't exactly in the market for your new sport glide. When I go to these hair scramble races, there are so many kids there. They're all on little Kawasaki's and Hondas and KTM's, and they're racing and they're crashing and they're outside and they are having the time of their lives. That is where the future of our sport is. That is where the future motorcycle riders are being born. Let me ask you this, you who are watching this right now, if you own a street bike, how many of you guys started out riding dirt bikes? If we want to keep adults riding motorcycles, we need to get kids riding motorcycles. When you get kids into dirt bikes and racing and riding, not only do you create a lifelong passion for motorcycles, but they're usually brand loyal, hint hint Harley Davidson. On top of all that, you're also making better riders overall. Kids who grew up racing dirt bikes are going to be so much better prepared to ride street one day than kids who didn't do it. I don't want to see motorcycles become obsolete. I don't want them to become a thing of the past. And in a world where self-driving cars are right around the corner, guess what? That could happen easier than you might think. If manufacturers don't try harder to get kids who are being born right now into motorcycles earlier, it could be a few generations of children growing up with self-driving cars being the norm, and all of a sudden, motorcycles, that's a thing of the past, man. I have absolutely no reason to expect that anybody from Harley Davidson is going to see this video, so I can only hope that this new direction that they're taking is as much about selling motorcycles as it is about investing in the future of our sport. I appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to me ramble. If you like this video, leave a like on it for me. Don't forget to subscribe and let me know what you thought in the comment section down below. Till next time, y'all, keep it weird.